Hello guys, Croft is here. What if I told you that Predator and Terminator franchises exist in the same universe? Originally I thought that these are two completely separate worlds, however, after looking at the proofs in the movies and additional materials, it seems like this theory can totally be true. For example, the script of Aliens of 1986 has a direct reference to the Terminator franchise, which I'll explain later in this video. On top of that, the Predator 2018 and the recent Terminator Dark Fate trailers support the theory that these two franchises are connected, and I'm gonna explain exactly how in just a moment. Before we begin, I wanted to briefly mention some of the new clothing that I designed. I like many sci-fi movies from late 80s and 90s, and I also really like their aesthetic style. At first, I wanted to make a couple of t-shirts just for myself, but then I thought that some of you guys may also like them, that's why I put these designs online. So if you like this 80s retro or synthwave style clothing, definitely check out the link in the description or just click on some of the t-shirts under the video. About a year ago I made a video on how Predators, Aliens and Blade Runner franchises can exist in the same universe, and I think the timeline in that video is most likely true. However, due to the fact that there are certain connections to the Terminator franchise that I'm about to tell you, there might just be two separate alternate universes. The first one with Predators, Xenomorphs, Engineers, and Blade Runner characters, and the second universe in which Predators, Xenomorphs, and Terminators coexist. These two timelines might also be alternate futures like in the Terminator films due to the different ways the technology and robotics developed. So in one future, the AI led to the creation of androids like David and Blade Runners, but in the alternate future, the artificial intelligence took a different turn. It became self-aware and created Terminators. So in this video I'll explain the theory of Predators and Terminators existing in the same universe, and then I'll tell you my personal thoughts about it. The first proof of this theory is Dutch, and more specifically what happened to him after the events of Predator of 1987, which is not very well known but really important. According to this theory, it's not a coincidence that Terminators and Dutch are played by the same actor, and the fact that Terminators' ultimate killing machines are made in the image of the perfect soldier, Dutch, who managed to kill one of the best hunters, Yautja. The theory suggests that after defeating Yautja, Dutch became a cyborg, and then many years later, Skynet used him as a model for Terminators, so let me explain exactly how it happened. During the events of Predator of 1987, we learned that Dutch is not just a soldier, but an extremely skilled and intelligent mercenary who has the perfect combination of the intellect and physical abilities. However, after the nuclear explosion at the end of the movie, Dutch looks really sick and is probably suffering the side effects of radiation. According to the Predator 2 novelization and other sources, Dutch was investigated about the incident for a few weeks and then he disappeared. Due to the fact that Dutch was in contact with an alien, he was taken by a secret government agency that made sure no one knows where he is. He was slowly dying because of radiation, that's why he agreed to replace parts of his body with bionics, and as the technology advanced, he eventually became a cyborg. In the Predator 2018, it's mentioned that Yautja visits to Earth has been increasing since 1987, that's why it was necessary to keep Dutch alive because he had the most experience in dealing with predators. The major Easter egg that confirms this theory appears in the arcade game Alien vs Predator, which was based on the early script for Alien vs Predator movie. In this game, there is a character, Major Dutch Schaefer, and it's mentioned that he is a cyborg created to fight extraterrestrials. Since the game was based on the early draft script for Alien vs Predator movie, this Easter egg pretty much confirms that after Dodge defeated Yautja in 1987, he was eventually transformed into a cyborg. The most logical reason is because parts of his body were falling apart as a result of radiation exposure, and therefore Dodge agreed to become partially a machine. Here is when it gets really interesting. There is a second part of this Easter egg that directly connects Dodge to the Terminator franchise. Dodge serial number in the game is CDS-170A3, and CDS stands for Cyberdyne Systems, a company from Terminator franchise that is responsible for creating Skynet. Although it's not the exact abbreviation for Cyberdyne Systems, it's definitely not a stretch and makes a lot of sense. In addition, the draft script of Aliens of 1986 actually mentions Cyberdyne Systems as the manufacturer of Android Ash, which is probably the most convincing evidence that Terminator and Predator are connected. You can easily find the script online and look at the page 32, or just search for the word Cyberdyne and you will find the reference that I'm talking about. According to the script, Cyberdyne exists in both franchises, and it's almost certain that CDS was involved in transforming Dodge into a cyborg, based on his serial number and the fact that CDS works closely with the government on different military projects involving robots and artificial intelligence. Another important point is that Terminator Dark Fate is the direct sequel to Terminator The Judgment Day, therefore Terminator Rise of the Machines, Salvation and Genesis are in an alternate timeline. Since in the Predator 2018 there is no apocalypse, the Predator movies are connected to the original James Cameron timeline in which events of Terminator Dark Fate take place. So here is how the Predator 2018 fits into the Terminator universe. At the end of the movie, Quinn and Rory are in a cybernetics lab and they unpack a highly advanced suit received from Predators that is designed to fight other Predator clans. According to the theory, scientists from SDS actually studied the suit and used parts of it and its technology to advance their own artificial intelligence programs. They eventually decided to create an army of ultimate killing machines, Terminators, to fight Predators using cyborg Dodge as a model. However, something went wrong. The artificial intelligence became self-aware and used Terminators against humans because it perceived them as a threat. It's also possible that the Predator technology led to the creation of Skynet first, and then Skynet decided to create Terminators to protect itself against humans and Yautja. Now let's take a closer look at the Terminator Dark Fate trailers. It may seem crazy, but it's possible that T-800 that we see is not a Terminator at all, but cyborg Dodge. There are a few details in the trailer that doesn't make sense and lead to lots of questions, which can be answered by the fact that the person that we see in the cabin is Dodge from Predator of 1987. In the latest trailer, when Sarah, Grace, Daniela and T-800 are facing the Rev 8 Terminator, Sarah says, "We're not machines."
Why not just let me have her?
Because we're not machines.
It may be because of the confusing editing or the fact that she's just talking about herself and Daniela, but another possibility is that it's a subtle hint that T-800 is actually Dodge who's still human despite being a cyborg. Another major point is that a Terminator doesn't need a house to live in, but in the trailer it looks like T-800 was living for a long time alone in this cabin waiting for something, which is extremely unusual for a Terminator. He was definitely living there alone, judging by other scenes in the trailers. Since Sarah almost shoots him, she didn't even know that he existed. Grace arrived from the future to protect Daniela, which is confirmed by the fact that she was naked in the middle of a desert. Daniela had a family, so she certainly did not live with T-800. All that means is that according to the trailer, T-800 was living alone in this house. However, it doesn't really make sense because he is a robot and doesn't need a home. He can just be deactivated or go to a sleep mode until somebody needs him. On top of that, T-800 was destroyed in the Judgment Day, so there was no need to send another T-800 model since, as Sarah said herself, she prevented the apocalypse of 1997. Therefore, a really compelling explanation is that it is not a Terminator at all, but Cyborg Dutch, who was retired or hiding from the US government. We will know for sure in less than a month if Dutch appears in this movie, but even if it's not him, the theory of Predators and Terminators existing in the same universe is still possible. That's pretty much the theory that connects Predator and Terminator franchises, and given the fact that Dark Fate is the direct sequel to the Judgment Day, it is possible that we will see other small details that will hint on the fact that these franchises exist in the same universe. I personally think that it is unlikely that we'll get a clear confirmation that Predators are in the same universe with Terminators, because it is a pretty drastic turn for both franchises. The Cyberdyne Systems reference is more of an Easter egg than an actual proof that these two franchises are connected. I think it is a great theory that can definitely be true, but I don't think it will be revealed in Dark Fate. Instead, we may be getting more Easter eggs similar to Cyberdyne reference, but not a clear connection. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about this theory, and make sure to include other Easter eggs and references you know that connect Predator and Terminator franchises. If you like retro or synthwave style clothing, definitely check out these designs under the video. At first I created them just for my own t-shirts and hoodies, but then I thought some of you guys may like it, so I posted them online. Because I really like synthwave, I actually bought the domain synthwave.co and I also put all my stuff there. So if you guys like this type of clothing, go to the website in the description or just click on the apparel below. And lastly, don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel for more content. My name is Croft and I'll see you in the next video.